Structures, bot tower first. I'm on Jakuk. Structures. KDA, play for KDA. GG, you guys. Fucking good game. Let's go.
I mean, it's self-explanatory. Red always finds a way to knock me out of playoffs, whether that be subbing in for a team this year.
Oh my, the fight gonna break out though. Ornhorn comes across, but it's a huge root coming down as well from Fire Mana. Gonna be kept alive, but a mid! Oh my goodness, a mid! Going sicko mode in the backline. It's a triple kill picked up by the Tristana. It's 4 for a mid.
Bree's a really good player. You know, there's a lot of jokes, you know, there's the Nami meme, and then obviously, you know, I've been really pushing the Red knocks Riri out of playoffs agenda. It's a little bit of mental warfare and a little bit of just poking fun.
BBZ's bot lane is way more aggressive than ours. We usually kind of like relax and play for wave priority rather than fighting, which is typically what they do. Besides, they played playoffs and they played a lot of wave priority champions. But I think overall, we're stronger than them overall.
Overall, we're probably one of the better bot lanes in terms of laning phase. Just looking at our last series with Fat Pikachu, we had a rough game 1 and game 2, and then game 3, we ended up with a lead instead of the previous 2 games. And then even going back to the last time I met Music Boy and Riri in the bot lane, you know, I was super fed on Callista. Jake was just popping off and getting me all these free kills.
Dax coming in, he knows that there's priority on this Amid right now, decides to send 4 members down here. That's a nice gun from Fire Mana to get 2 and 2 members.
It's not going to be enough as Music Boy turns it back around. Hook over the wall by Jacob Dudar will sequester Music Boy away from the rest of the team, but Dax taking so much damage. Champion Red trying to dish out the damage. Going to be able to pull the spears back. Takes down Crims as well. And Champion Red is still alive in the front line. It's a double kill picked up by the Callista. Better keep that name in mind.
Yuzu decide to return for this fight. Again, another Dax call. Riri in the mid already super low. Fire Mana does decide to chase 2 of them. Crims immediately
I think BBZ is one of the strongest mid-game teams in the league, and we just had to find a way to either get a super big lead in the early game and have it and not lose it, or just find a way to stop losing the mid game. This is your last year, Red. It's FOS last year. Please do not deny me.
And welcome back, everyone, to game number 2 between Blue Bayou Zoo and Art of War Esports. We're Adam and Yanni at you once again with this one. And honestly, game 1 was a story of 2 games. First 15 minutes, the rest of the game there. What a turnaround coming through from Blue Bayou Zoo as they get themselves ready for game number 2.
Yeah, and I'd imagine that Blue Bayou Zoo is not going to let Art of War Esports take that commanding of a lead in the early game again. So Art of War Esports are going to have to work that much harder just to turn this series around, because Adam, I'm going to say it right now, and this hates something that I hate doing. I don't know if Art of War Esports has what it takes after what I saw in game 1. Riri begging and pleading Champion Red to let him have one here. Champion Red and the rest of the squad silencing Art of War Esports for that game. We'll see what happens in game 2 as we're going to see a lock-in for Sivir once again as the first pick.
Yeah, and a lot of very similar bans already coming through. The Tristana, the Aurelia, the Aatrox as well, taken away by Blue Bayou Zoo. Flip side, it's the Gangplank as well as that Amumu, the Maokai sort of coming up as, I believe, a new ban. And this one trying to take that out of Dax's hands, but Xayah is now the answer into the Sivir. This time around, Music Boy, believe that is one of their most played champions in solo queue as well as this season. They're going to be looking to dish out just a little bit extra damage. The Raldo will stay consistent.
Yeah, and not only that, you're also getting the protection that Ashe did not have in the last game, and you saw it becoming a big problem. It felt like it was so easy to get to Music Boy that last game, so getting that Xayah with that ultimate, able to find his way out of sticky situations, and then immediately with the Blade Caller, you know, root people down, put some distance, either deal some damage or get away when necessary.
Yeah, I think if we were to use a personal meme of ours, Ashe is a shield designed champion with a sword ultimate. Xayah is a sword designed champion with a shield ultimate at that. All jokes aside, Alistar Poppy gonna get locked in as Dax says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Jacob Dudar says, hey, I can play like even more of a psycho on Alistar.
You know, I have to tell you that when I was skimming through casts a couple days ago for Chris putting my reel together, I did hear some
I know Chris, by the way.
Of Shout out Chris, by the way. I did hear some rumblings of Sword and Shield League of Legends, and I did forget to message you. So I am very happy that you brought this up. But yeah, Blue by Yuzu. I'm gonna get the Poppy again for Dax. Jacob Dudar gonna go crazy. He's looking to be that dude with Alistar. In response, though, we are seeing a Trundle pick up here. This is a fantastic lock in here for Art of War Esports. I gotta say, this Trundle is gonna get so much value off of the Alistar and off of the Poppy.
Yeah, and another thing that could happen is Trollsing you could be piloting the Troll. And Xingyu up on that top side of the map, depending on what Jaffe ends up going for as well. You do have that option to keep it flexible if you just lock in a mids champion here, potentially blind up something like that Azir once again, which once again was 1 damage off of being the highest damage in that game last time around, was sort of the standout for Art of War Esports, even through the mid game where they had their tumultuous downfall at that. But Rumble removed by Art of War Esports. I am not surprised. That Rumble was ridiculous from Jaffe.
Yeah. And I'm interested to see what he's going to be able to pull out this time. Is Art of War 2 very wise bans here, as you just mentioned. So
there we go.
They're going to put the solo laners on other things. LeBlanc going to be the lock-in here. And I like what's getting put together here for Art of War Esports. It's a lot more of a split pushing composition now. I mean, if Trundle is in either the top row, going top or going jungle, he'll be strong enough to be able to split later on. LeBlanc's build a very conducive to a split pushing champion and strategy, so I like what they're pulling on here. I'm going to see the Nico hover out of Fireman. I'm going to get locked in. We saw a lot of Nico at the North American Finals, and all I can hope for is that Fireman plays a little bit better than APA.
And, I mean, we give APA a hard time now. Still our collegiate king. Love you, APA.
I love Team Liquid, so, you know, I love him just because he's you know, he's on my favorite team. But yes, he is a collegiate king. You know,
he's our collegiate king, and, you know, Spyrax going back as well. They've got so much legacy there. Shen getting locked in here for Jaffe. This is an interesting one to come through because we look at last game where Jaffe's put on a carry. This time around, taking that tool away. Look at this comp from BBZ. They have 2 people that they want to deal damage. It is Fire Mana and Red. Everyone else is designed to keep everyone the F away from them.
Yeah, or protect them if you're Shen, Alistar. You know, like that. This is good stuff here out of Blue Bayou Zoo. I did see that Cho'Gath hover. I would have been a little concerned here, but going in for the Jax, I like this out of Art of War Esports. This is a 4-threat composition into 3 tanks. There is going to be no lack of damage, and provided that they're able to get onto the carries and just deal enough damage to keep them out of the fight, I think they can make it happen, but we'll have to see. And if you're Coach Sword Blue, especially the fact that, you know, you are a pretty good reputation, Sword Blue, very, very strong player. You know, you have to be a little upset at the team for dropping that first game. I wonder if he, you know, really just read them the riot act and laid into them. You know, get their heads on straight here. As we've seen everything locked in here in the Jax. Trollsing you, aggressive on the Darius, expecting a lot of the same here on the Jackson. Should have an easier time too, as Shen, you know, can do a little bit of damage, but it doesn't fight back nearly as well as Rumble.
Yeah, I think major thing to note about this Jax is how popular it has been recently as well. Been played at every single level. Yesterday, casting the CNE land, saw a lot of Jax picked up there as well, or at least banned out. The interesting thing, no Renekton's yet. We'll see if that develops as well, because that has been the most popular top laner, of course. The Crocodile will have to wait for another one. We get on to the Rift for game number 2. BBZ strike first, but will Art of War Esports be able to strike back with some artful mastery? Or it could just be a war as well. We know for sure they're going to be playing esports.
They could
That's
be
a guarantee. Of.
The team is getting ready to go here. See a stack up here for Art of War Esports. I'm interested to see if they're going to try to find their way in. They are going to be spotted out by Jacob Dudar, so at least be able to get some warding down. Nothing more. Just going to get that one down on the red buff, and a pretty good idea that that ward is likely there. So the response for the side of the BBZ is ward the opposing red buff. I'm shocked.
Shocking developments there. Wards are traded back and forth off of an invade.
Oh my god. It's an average League of Legends game.
Yeah, surprise. Now everyone's going to check. Oh, look, they don't know there's a ward there. Maybe they do know there's a ward there. On the opposite side, they're all walking over vision. At the very least, they are aware of that one. Ooh. And Fireman gets that XP. That's huge. That is massive. Jacob Dudar Not going to get the other one, though, and that could end up giving an extra little iota of information over to the side of Crims, saying, yeah, I can't invade. Unlucky.
Don't know how much it'll actually do, but we are going to find out as Oriri leading the way here on the Rel this time around. See if they get a stun off on the Champion Red. Ooh. They are going to target Champion Red first and already getting chunked out there, burning the heal to keep themselves at around 60% HP. Good start for Art of War.
Yeah, and Oriri still going in for this, going for the flip on Red. Wow.
Oriri super deep, and Champion Red takes another auto attack there. Now, again, we saw this happen in the first game where Art of War Esports took a lead, but they look a lot more aggressive, especially in this bottom lane compared to last time.
And I think a lot of that comes down to Music Boy having damage at level 1, as opposed to the Ashe where you drop a volley down, you don't really have much follow-up, whereas Music Boy can give themselves that extra little bit of attack speed, drop down an extra little bit of damage, and Oriri's also playing a champion with more agency there. We talked about how he needs to dispel the one-trick rumors on Rel. This time around says, you know what, I'm just going to take it for myself, screw it.
Yeah, who cares? If you win a championship, who cares? Like, you know, let them talk. It doesn't matter. I mean, you know, I don't think the last game was on Oriri at all. There's a lot of team-wide issues. I'm sure you could put some of the blame on them here, but, you know, Rel's powerful. You take advantage of it. You see Dax going through the tribe rush here. Oriri stepping up. Jacob Dudar flashing. Music Boy has to flash now. Oriri could be in a bad spot, but a lot of damage being put up by Music Boy as they're running away. Means that no further incidents can happen. Fire Mana, wait, I thought that was the fake, but they're going to flash after him, and it's first blood going to mid there. What happened?
I had level 3. The chain comes down. It lands onto the main one. Even if you clone afterwards, that chain will still land and connect. Rest of the damage comes through from Crims. A little bit of an investment with that flash, but Fire Mana now, no summoners available. Still at risk of a potential regank here from Crims. And Trundle gets so much more value on your ganks when they don't have flash.
Yeah, and one big thing to note is Amid went Call. So when you're getting first blood after building a Call, it just feels like the best game. You feel so rewarded for your starting item option. Yeah, Stonks. And you know me, I know a lot about Stonks.
Of course, you're the one who makes the NACL stonks. You'd say, yeah, you know what? Are you buying Art of War Esports yet, or are you still, you know, waiting?
No, I am selling Art of War Esports. Sell. I am still buying BBZ.
It's 4 minutes in. We have to wait until like 20 minutes. If 20 minutes and Art of War Esports still have a lead, that's when we start to buy up.
Oh yeah, that is GG. I mean, hell, if they hold it through like 17 minutes, I'm like, yep, all right. You know, we gotta get our what is it? You know, when you just buy at the beginning of the day, you gotta wake up early, set your buy orders there, and have them executed at 17 minutes in the game if you are a fan of Art of War Esports. But so far, so chill. Nothing too crazy going on here. As after that first blood, we're a little quiet, and I'm not sure if that's Art of War Esports being a little tentative and apprehensive here, or if BBZ is just like, yeah, we'll just wait until we get to the mid game. It's all fine.
I think yes to both, in a sense. I think Art of War Esports, they want to make sure that they're finding the correct place for them. Their early game plays last game were very calculated. I want to say it just worked out in their favor a lot more often than not that they got as many kills as they did. That invade on the top side, very well calculated. They're kind of happy they got 2 kills as opposed to just 1 in that situation. Of course, this time around, you find a gank in the mid lane, you punish it. I want to see reganks. I want to see Crims continue to revisit Amid, because from the top of the show, we said Amid very likely to be top 3 MVP, if not number 1 MVP in this season. Full disclosure, I put Amid as number 1. If they want to win, if they want the success, they need to find plays like, all right.
It is a 1-for-1. And Amid died first, which means they get the Darksteel stacks. so that's a true MVP play right there. But no. Amid was playing really, really well in game 1, and then after that teleport top lane just kind of chain-inted like the rest of the team did. Like, you know, I'm gonna call it what it is. It kind of chain-inted.
Just didn't have any room to work with.
Yeah, you can see why this guy is heralded as one of the best mid laners in the league, if not the best. Right now, you got a 5 CS advantage. I mean, you got a call in a blasting wand in the pocket. Like, you're making things happen, and just, you know, making life hard for Fire Mana, who is now level 6. So it is going to be a little bit harder for a mid to actually make plays, because once he goes in, he's going to have to go out or risk getting pop blossomed.
Yeah, you have to play some mind games with the distortion there. You can either go... I think it's very likely you go for some of these quicker trades with your distortion forward, see if you can bait out a Pop Blossom at that. If Fire Meta just keeps holding on to it, you drop down a chain and you say, I'll stick around a little bit longer. Let's deal this full combo down, and then you back off. You can start to play those timing games there as well. Of note, this top lane right now, Trolzing has a nice little CS lead with the wave pushing back, but on the opposite side, Red, this time around with the Aerie, gonna be able to get a little bit of a farm lead for themselves. Oriri shows up, says hi, bye. See you later.
Yeah. And they correctly ping out, they're gonna see Dax here, I should say, as Amid is just sprinting top here, right past Dax, as he wants to. Yeah, and he stops the recall of Jaffe there, and there could be some problems here as Dax in hot pursuit. Fake Dax about to show up as well. He's gonna get that Pop Blossom off. Is gonna hit 2 members. They're gonna root up Oriri, who headed to the top side as well. And disaster strikes for AWE as BBZ finds a couple.
Amid fake Yoru cloned. That's what we'll call that right there. Just kept walking past. Dax is like, are you gonna do damage to me? Are you gonna engage with me? And Amid's like, nah, I've got one person in mind, and that's Jaffe on the top side. And somehow, some way, Jaffe still ends up with a kill at the end of it. A little bit of a miscalculation, a lot of a miscalculation there.
I heard the dial-up noises as Amid was walking up. I heard the dial-up.
It was not a good play. And now BBZ, they've got themselves an early game lead. Very slight at that, but you look at where the gold is allocated. A lot of that is on Firemana, who had an excellent game last time around. Jaffe gets a kill. He's perfectly fine with that. He's not supposed to get kills. He's supposed to be the support for Champion Red in the later stages when everyone's diving on top of him. Getting a kill, getting closer to that Titanic Hydra so you can push out those lanes and join the team without worrying about your towers as much. You take those every single day of the week. I'm buying Jaffe stocks.
Hey, listen, after that first game, those stocks are going to be very, very expensive, and then you go and put them on a tank. So the stock will retract and probably go down to a more acceptable price. As Amid has found himself between a rock and a hard place once again. Almost chain CC'd up Fireman and just a little too slow there, but does mean that Amid has to get back to all the way off, down to about half HP. It's going to get the plant, but really can't get the inside track on the mid lane here.
Yeah, it's been a little bit... oh, okay. That just happened. We get a replay.
All right, yeah. We see Crim's heading up to the top side here. I don't know if it was because a kill happened or not, but we're about to find out. Oh, yeah. This absolutely looks like a kill here. As Jaffe unable to get away. Crim's able to pick up that kill. Not up the kill score. They get the gold really close here as we approach the 9-minute mark. And you get one back of Art of War, but you have... This early game has to be so deflating compared to the last one, right?
Yeah, I mean, last time around you had such a strong lead, and I sort of circle back to Amid. I totally caster cursed him. Even though he got that kill under tower, it was the 1-for-1, and then he just gets Yoru clone up to the top side, just kind of falls asleep at the wheel. Oriri is on the bottom side. It doesn't matter. Red just keeps hitting the tower at that point.
Amid out here just playing Valorant. He's dry peeking on Azir. He's Yoru cloning on LeBlanc. What game are we casting out of?
You know what? I'm so
You got
Valorant
me casting
pilled.
Valorant now. You are so Valorant pilled.
I'm so Valorant pilled. Oh my goodness. But nonetheless, I mean, Art of War Esports, I think that part of it is them being way too safe at this point. They could be going for some more aggressive plays around this bot lane specifically. Music Boy's 20 CS down. You might as well just throw a wrench at them down there. Try and find some damage. You've got enough crowd control, but Jaffe's in trouble.
Oh, Crim's
taunted
up, but oh, what a great Trundle pillar there. That keeps Firemana just far enough away, and Crim's doesn't get wrapped up in all that nonsense.
Yeah, Crim's actually stole away the Gromp. Might have been chased off by Dax at the end of that, but it was a great look to try and punish Jaffe. Major thing about Shen is sort of a global taunt to have Shen on your team, because they're saying, hey, I'm going to be joining every single fight, whether you like it or not. Through the teleport, through the Stand United, you want to punish the globals as much as possible. They're trying to do so. Jaffe is 27 CS down, but he also got a kill. He's also playing Shen. I don't think he really cares, because at a certain point, Shen is inevitable. Will be able to join those fights and find so much value through that ultimate.
Yeah, we are talking a lot about the Shen, but we're not really talking a lot about the Jax, who is getting a free lane here, right? You got 85 CS, you got an assist. You're dealing some damage, at least putting pressure on this Shen that he hasn't been able to ult yet. Now, Whether he's going to ult in the upcoming fight or not remains to be seen. So you can already see Champion Red a little low on HP, and this Dragon started up as
They might
Art
join
of
us.
War does not want to give up any objectives. They didn't give up any of the early ones last time. So far, they're 2 for 2, looking to go 3 for 3 in this game. Amid rotating down to about half HP here, as Dax is going to take all the aggro from the Dragon. Fire Mana off to the side, no Pop Blossom available as the Dragon resets. Team's just playing a big game of chicken, but Scalded Crab going to get taken here for the side of Art of War, so they're going to get all that vision available to them. Dragon started up once again. Oriri on a ward right
Level
now.
5.
Has no plan to get over the wall. Oriri is at level 5. Champion Red taking a whole lot of damage. And once again, the Dragon resetting. A mid going to shove out the mid wave here. Now the Dragon down to about 2,000 HP. Art of War really doesn't want to give this thing up. They are forced to bend the knee there. Dragon going to the side of BBZ. A mid going to get a 4th turret plating there.
Yeah, and I mean,
pretty okay stuff.
It's okay for Art of War there. They give up a Dragon. Nothing doing really in terms of that. They sort of waste a lot of BBZ's time, though. That's a major thing because Amid able to get another tower plate for themselves while Red finally finished up the call. Amid's 2 CS away from that as well. There's 2 caster minions. One, hit the caster minions.
Hey, it's you and me.
1.
It's you and me.
2. There you go.
We
There
died.
it is. The call is complete as well, so a little bit more infusion going both ways in terms of the gold. Art of War still has an 1,000 gold lead. And I think a lot of that now, you look at that top side, Trollzing has been left on an island, and Trollzing's okay with that.
Oh, yeah. Like, this is so good for a Jax player, right? You put him in Australia, you put him to the top lane jail, and you let him chill out. You know, he's got that 30 CS lead, like you just mentioned, about an 800 gold lead as well. It's one of it's, you know, the 3rd largest differential here. And, you know, I think a lot of the differentials have to do with CS, right? There's 20 up for Champion Red here. But in the mid lane, that's really the big one here. Amid getting that call gold, getting a lot of those platings as well. So, you know, despite the fact that Art of War has not had as strong of an early game as the last one, they are still up 1,000 gold.
Yeah, they still have a lead, and Amid going for the honorable LeBlanc build, not going for the static Shiv, Night Harvester crap that we've
he's
seen.
lame. I don't think that's good for them. I don't think that's good for them at all, actually.
It could end up mattering in the end because, I mean, you look at their team comp and they're not hurting too much for wave clear, specifically when Jax just sort of sits on the side lane. Dax in trouble, though.
Oh, nice
misses.
sidestep there from Crims, which means Crims might be able to close out on this kill. We're going to see Stand United come through. Good stun there by Dax. Fireman is going to get in, and the LeBlanc flew in and gets immediately caught up. Now Trollzing you has to hop out to Crims. Jaffe just in hot pursuit. Dax flashing after the clone. Not going to get anything for that. Hey, clone flash? Yoru? Hold on.
Wait a sec. It's all Valorant. What's going on here?
Always has been.
Always has been, always will. Amid kind of a pretty bad distortion in there, but then able to get out alive, which is what matters at the end of it. Sort of keep saving face there. A lot invested by the side of BBZ, and in the end, Art of War is still pretty happy with that because Trollzing is full health, Jaffe is not full health. Technically, it's a long con win in some ways based on the health bars, and I don't know. I'm stretching for this. Art of War perfectly fine with it.
No, listen, Jax burnt 0 summoners. Trundle burnt 0 summoners. LeBlanc burnt 0 summoners. BBZ, they burn 1 summoner. That's a win in my book. If you're Art of War Esports, that is exactly what Sun Tzu was talking about.
Yeah, and it was an even trade of ultimates as well. And if you look at how notable some of these ultimates are, I think BBZ want their ultimates a lot more than Art of War do. The Grandmaster's Might is nice, but you don't really use that as sort of your main tool. That's not why you pick Jax. You pick Jax for everything except the active on your ultimate in a lot of ways. You get the extra proc on 3rd hits. There's a lot to like about it. Crims should be fine with it. It's a low enough cooldown on the subjugate. Amid has his ultimate up every 20 seconds. Late game doesn't really matter.
Is in a lot of trouble, though. He got chased down by multiple members. They kill Amid. They kill the clone, too, for good measure. As BBZ makes a really solid play. Crims worried about making sure that Trollzing you is safe, but Dax just decided, I'm going to go with the other play here in the mid lane. Turret going down on the top side, so AWE taking first turret of the game. In the mid, I think they took that in the mid lane first. I'm not sure which one went down first. It would make much more sense if a mid greeted for that one, but double turrets there for your solo laners means you are feeling real good. The gold lead swelling to 2,000 here, but again, not as big as last time. And I have a feeling that the BBZ mid game, it's starting. It's about that time.
Oh, man.
As you can see, they're going to immediately target Crims here. It's going to get CC'd up. They're going to bait the teleport here out of the Jax. They could potentially go for a top dive here, as they brought multiple members up here. It's going to be a 2v1 for right now. But Jaffe in the area here, and they immediately blow up Dax. But now they're going to go for the rest of the members. Jacob Duder under the turret, tanking all up. But Amid is here. The dive has not gone the way that BBZ thought it would. Crims down to a sliver of HP, but he's going to be able to walk it out. Trolls you hopping over a 3-man counter strike. Oriri over the wall, and Art of War have reversed the fortunes of what befell them last time, as they are looking to ace out the rest of BBZ, and they do.
In the wise words of Yanni as well, bye, bye, bye. Here we go for Art of War, because that fight was what broke them last game, when it went the opposite way, when BBZ were able to find an ace around that dragon after the third dragon. This time around, Art of War the ones finding an early ace into this game, and it all comes off of a little bit too much aggression coming through from Dax, not expecting Trolls you to be on that opposite side, and then all 5 members show up on the top side. The Rift Herald picked up for them as well. Art of War Esports have ballooned this into a 5,000 gold lead at this point. They're picking up their second dragon of the game. Blue Bayou Zoo live and die by the mid-game fight at 17 minutes. This time, they're dying by it.
And really good stuff there. Art of War Esports sending a message to Blue Bayou Zoo. That'll only work once, except for the fact that it did work twice last game, but that'll only work once in an actual game, as they understood the assignment this time around. Hey guys, they're going to dive top. Let's all head up here and meet them and get an even fight. Use their gold advantage. Good stuff there by Art of War. They are able to secure a dragon. They're second of the game. And they're looking really good right now. Trollsing you with a huge advantage right now. 40 CS, 1-0-5. They have the Rift Herald in the back pocket, though, and they're going to have to try to defend this turret that's already on low HP. Dax waiting in the wings if we decide there's going to be an engagement. Nice headbutt away. Trollsing you is going to be the one to engage, but now Dax is going to make it an odd man fight, but Champion Red has to just sprint away at Mach 10. Jaffe used his ultimate to get down there. No kills to be had yet. Fire Mana couldn't get in there. That Pop Blossom sucked.
Pop Blossom, APA, a Pop Blossom, APA, whatever. Syllables are hard.
I'm trying to think of something, but it was just bad. You know?
It was not planned ahead. That's for sure.
No. You remember the old Kobe? Oh man, that TP sucked. Like that's exactly.
That Pop Blossom sucked. That's exactly what happened.
Pop Blossom was a little rough there.
It's unfortunate though, because BBZ, they invest so much into that. Stand United was used. Red used everything to get out of that one. Jacob Dudar as well forced to flash in that fight, I believe. Stand United is the big one though. You need to keep those globals on lock for any sort of engage that might put Red in danger. Thus far, not quite getting as much impact. Forced to go this Black Cleaver second means you don't have as much immediate damage as you would with the Duskblade second. Granted, the farm has still been excellent. Looks as if they still have a lead over Music Boy for the time being. But Red just hasn't found as much value on the Sivir this time around. It feels as if Art of War Esports took last game. They went to the bank. They said, okay, this is what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to allocate our funds. And it's worked out far better for them this time around. Amid, despite some questionable plays in the early game, has still found a lot of value.
Yeah, but they are going to try for another top lane dive once again. Champion Red gets bursted out. That's a block build that you were talking about. Full burst damage. And Spell Shield be damned, he falls anyway.
And now, Ariri's on this top side. Amid, that's an actual clone. There you go. Make him tank up the minions for you. Still sort of looking for this one. WTF 2 poppies as well on this top side of the map.
And Trollsing you is just like hard shoving bot lane, by the way.
Trollsing doesn't care.
You know, they took the inner turret as well. They're going to look to take down Jaffe here. Yeah, mid turret's going down also. I mean, Art of War Esports has made so much happen here. Trollsing you gets a solo kill on top of it, and BBZ is reeling.
I'm reeling after that play because we're watching this top the entire time. Amid gets the one shot onto Red, and then it's pushes on multiple lanes at the same time. Music Boy and Crims on one side. It's Trollsing finding a solo kill on the opposite side. And look at those bounties that are starting to build up. 250 gold on a Hull Breaker second item, Jax. Are you kidding me, Trollsing? On top of Music Boy, now sitting just 2-0-0, farming up, still getting to that later stage. Amid, very strong in their own right, has picked up the book. The Book of Sins, going to be trying to write every single member of BBZ's name in it. And something else I talked about earlier. Jaffe,
call it the death knell, Adam.
We'll call it the Death Note. Jaffe, with the Tiamat early on, got that early kill. Sort of has a garage sale now.
Yeah.
Not really sure what's going on with that build anymore.
This is like my neighborhood garage sale, right? My neighborhood garage sale used to be like really, really good. I'd have people come from towns away to come through in this garage sale. And that's what the garage sale is early on in the game. But we're 21 minutes in now, and the garage sale looks like the garage sale that we currently have, where barely anybody participates because it just kind of sucks. And right now, Jaffe, this build, it just kind of sucks right now. There's not really too much that he is bringing to the table except for a little bit of health and a lot of armor. He's going to need to get a mythic soon, or at least a big item, because take a look at his health bar. It's not the same as Trolls You.
Yeah, Trollsing is building damage items and has more health, and that's the issue. Granted, fight on the bottom side. Oh, no.
2v1 here. Oh, my God. It's not even close. Afi is like, this is a lot of damage, but can he 4v1 is the question. What? It's a 5v1. He lands the counter-strike. He flashes away like a thief in the night. He'll take a blast plan out. He's going to heal up. He didn't take the other blast plan, but it doesn't matter, because guess what, Adam? The rest of the team has taken the Baron.
Trollsing You pulled a Jaffe. And Jaffe has been known to get away with crazy plays, escape 1v3s, 1v4s, 1v5s, and that. Trollsing said, let me show you how to do it. All 5 members go to that bottom side of the map. And I think Trollsing leaves with more health than he started that fight with, just because of all the extra plants in the areas. Granted, Dragon Control will be ceded over to Blue Bayou Zoo, but I don't know. They were sort of monkeying around on that bottom side of the map with all 5 members going down there. Questionable call there from the side of BBZ. And now, look at that gold lead. 8,000 gold. Yes, 8,000 gold in favor of Art of War Esports.
They did get the dragon, though, and as you said, monkeying around. They were chasing after the Zookeeper there, but the Zookeeper managed to lock them all in the cage and distract them while the rest of the squad doing Baron. And you mentioned that huge gold lead. Now it is time for Art of War to show what they can do with the Baron power play. We saw last time around, Blue Bayou Zoo, their Baron power play, fairly strong. They were wisely weaving in and out, making sure they could never get engaged on. And if Art of War can do the same, we'll be looking at an even series here, Adam.
Yeah, if Art of War can do something even half as good as what BBZ's Baron power play was, they'll be feeling pretty good about things. 3 members already pushing down this mid lane. The only complaint that I can really have about this Baron thus far is that they've wasted a minute of it. They haven't really done much with the first little bit. Yeah. And while it could be a preventative Baron at that to prevent BBZ from getting it, you're so far ahead that you really should be trying to find these fights, really force it down. Amit is just sort of lurking around trying to find Jaffe, who...
It's got no magic resistance.
Has no... Still doesn't have an item. It is 24 minutes into the game. No mythic on Jaffe there.
He bought a Sheen.
He's going Iceborne.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's getting close, but man, that was just a Q, by the way.
Yeah. Welcome to Amid's world here, and Fireman is like, nah, I don't want to deal with Trollsing. That's a 3-level difference, by the way. Trollsing is level 15. The rest of BBZ are at most level 12.
Yeah, and Trollsing You is just walloping down this turret. They're going to bring everybody over at him again. He's going to land a multi-man stun, but they throw everything and the kitchen sink at him. He's somehow still alive. He'll finally go down, but a top inner turret falls for it as they're going to continue the push. How many tools does BBZ have left in the tank? They're going to knock 1 member away. Dax is going to go in, land the flash. Amid in a lot of trouble. Very low. Shut down to fire mana, but they can't get the rest of the squad. But BBZ live to fight another day as they back off Art of War.
Yeah, major thing to note of that was while Trollsing was getting 4-manned on the bottom side, it was the opposite side of the map that was getting 4-manned and Jaffe going down. So that's what really converted on that play. It does open up the base a little bit. This Baron power play going to end up being about net neutral. So you get the 1,500 gold from Baron. That's probably as much as they get out of it. Gold lead's still hovering around 7,000 now. Art of War, playing this methodically. They're going to be playing for the long con, I think, in this game, no matter what. This Xayah still hasn't really unlocked her true potential. Music Boy's just still been farming. And now you look at Red's build. A Hex Drinker in the inventory just to survive a mid feels a little bit too safe in this situation.
Yeah, you got a spell shield. You got to just go for damage here. An XLCS player once told me that when you're behind, you just have to keep building damage and let your mechanics carry you. You know, you can't go afford to build defensive because you lose out on a lot of that power that you can use to turn the game around. And, you know, Champion Red is able to hit from a really safe distance in these fights, despite the fact that Jax can still get on try to get on top of you. I mean, it's really hard. We haven't seen Ariri really do much of anything in terms of like getting onto the back line. So yeah, I am kind of surprised that he opted into that. Just really afraid of a mid.
Yeah, I think the major thing as well is that a lot of this game has been predicated by the solo lanes. Music Boy and Ariri, they haven't had to do anything. Ariri's been calling shots from the bottom lane for sure. That's about it. It's the sort of passive traits of this game that Ariri can be carrying, but the rest of this has just been Trollsing being Jax and being really annoying and having 3 completed items. Finally, Jaffe has done it. He has completed the Iceborne for himself. Still has that timeout, so at least it's Mythic plus, I want to say, as opposed to Trollsing, who has Mythic plus 2 items.
What's the MasterCard thing? Fastest to Mythic?
The Fast 5.
Yeah, the Fast 5. We're doing the slow 5 here, or maybe even the slow 1, because I wonder if this is the slowest Mythic for a champion that built a Mythic, in the league. Honestly, it's a pretty
slowest in this game at the very least.
Oh yeah, that much is.
Red doesn't have a Mythic either. You know what?
Yeah, but Red's probably not going to
it.
build a Mythic. Like, it's part of the build there. But we'll see an engagement occur here as Ariri is going to be the one to get caught out, but turns around, immediately stuns 2, and rebuffs any potential engage that Blue Bayou Zoo can make.
Yeah, and this control that they have over this bottom side of the map as well is just reinforced by the fact that Jaffe, if he's ulting into it, will likely melt as well. So it's not as free to just send sort of a tracer dart in there in the same way as like a Shen Nocturne works, where you just put the Shen on top and then all of a sudden your big beefy front lines with your big damage as well. Your big beefy front line in the Shen is not beefy. He's gone vegan. He's tofu-y at this point.
Yeah, he's a little beefy, but he's like Taco Bell dollar menu beefy. Like, he's not bringing the beef that you'd expect in these cheesy bean burritos. It's they skimped out a little bit here. And the shove is happening here. This mid inner turret is dangerously low, and it is inhibitor turret, I should say, is going to go down. Like you mentioned, a mid on the bottom side splitting. They are going to be able to take this inhibitor. So maybe I was wrong. The split push LeBlanc is indeed here. Jaffe, I don't know if he can hold the line here. There are a lot of minions. LeBlanc does a lot of damage to these turrets. Does get taunted under turret. It's going to take a lot of damage, but Jaffe as well. He's 1 W away from death here. Mid just kind of played at arm's length here, but he is going to go in. He is going to be able to get the kill, and that means he can continue the push unabated. However, there is a super minion that he has to try to find a way to clear out. It's actually going to path back to mid here. They are going to answer him. Here comes a teleport here.
What?
Trollsing you wants to get in. A mid does not have the health to really stick around. Champion Red and Fire Mana are in the area, and they will be able to clear this out. The Baron's going to be started here by Art of War. They only have Music Boy as their large source of damage, but the Poppy ult whiffs. So Dax is going to have a lot of trouble trying to find a way in. Fire Mana and Champion Red trying to get into the jungle here. Dax has been found out. They're going to go on to Trollsing you, but this Baron is still going to be continued. He's going to be able to leap strike out to relative safety. Now this Baron is getting shredded, and it is going to go down. Fire Mana unable to get in, only hitting the Scuttle Crab there. Another Pop Blossom that yields nothing.
And such a confusing turn of events as well, because amidst just pushing on the bottom side of the map, gets the solo kill into Jaffe, who 4 levels down. What are you supposed to do on the Shen at that point? But it's this push down mid lane that makes no sense to me, because Crims is just taking Dragon at the same time. But Music Boy and Ariri, they're just cognizant enough to know we don't need to fight this. We're going to get more off of this, and they do end up getting more. They get the Dragon, they get the Baron, they get that bot lane inhibitor. If that's the price that you pay for the mid lane inhibitor, sure, so be it. But it's just that extra little bit of gold that's going back into BBZ that makes me a little bit worried here, because of course now once again this first minute of the Baron hasn't really yielded much quite yet. If you're looking to try and end the game here with this bot lane inhibitor exposed, you have to try and use this Baron to get the other 2 at the very least, if not end the game off of this.
And it feels like it's starting to get the time where you really have to end this game, because that Jaffe is going to get tankier as the game goes on. And I have to say, though, Blue Bayou Zoo, they've looked a little out of sorts here. They might be on the same page here as a mid has gone golden. Are they going to be able to stop him? He is going to flash over the wall. Turret down in the top side as Trollsing is split pushing away currently. Jaffe going to meet him here. But again, his numbers are just a little smaller than Trollsing's. They're going to try to engage onto him, unable to get a stun down, which means the mid lane wave going to shove in here. Bot lane wave, it's big, and a mid is looking to escort that in. They're trying to pull apart BBZ every single limb. They've put them on the stretch, that medieval torture device right now, as they're going to have to head over to a mid here. But The minions are still pushing in. They are Baroned up right now. Fireman is going to be the one to answer. And Mid is against the wall, though. Dax is going to chase him down. Ultimate used to get away. Trolling you going to get that top inhibitor, as you just mentioned. And now the mid inhibitor turret, the last one standing, save for the Nexus turrets, which, by the way, one of them went down. So it's time for BBZ to pull the trigger here, because this may be their only opportunity, but it could be Art of War who's the one that's pulling the trigger. You see the pressure coming in here. There's the Pop Blossom, and it hits so many of them. 2 of them down immediately. Trolling you has to flash away as he's just a couple hundred HP away from death, and that's the fight that BBZ wanted. They pick up 3.
The full court press from Art of War wasn't quite enough. Amid is still on the wrong side of the map.
Amid is dead. They found every single one of them save for Crims, and now the shove is coming in. There's 2 teleports available. Adam, they could end this game.
I think potentially these Baroned up minions could stall it out, but Crims isn't even close enough now. What is going on? BBZ have no right to be in this position.
You see Fireman taking it back to get this mana back. No pun intended. The first turret getting very low. Crims is going to be able to flash to the side. They've targeted him. Jaffe is very low. Fireman is going to find a way in. He's clearing waves. He's not teleporting in. They thought they were going to have him, and now the respawns are here. But Jacob Duder is here. Here comes that teleport. He's going to knock up a couple of members here, but he's getting very low. Fireman is here. Fireman's ultimate isn't available, but Music Boy, with a sliver of HP remaining, will find a way to survive. And now a teleport coming into the base. Jax is teleported into the BBZ base. He's on the turret. Jaffe, the only man who can stop him. The inhibitors are down. He's hopping around like a rabbit, but he's smacking on the Nexus, and BBZ unable to execute a game-winning push. It's AWE tying up the series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me the Tim Allen. Wow,
that's what you get for that one.
I can't believe that Fireman just didn't teleport directly into the base there. Like, he was so worried about those minions, but he needed to get back in there. He needed to keep those minions alive, get there. I think they could have won the game, Adam. We could have been talking about a 2-0 here before the side of BBZ, but now, Adam, we're legally obligated to say it. We got ourselves a series.
We got a series on our hands, and that game, the back door, like, does that just end up being like the front door at that point?
The front door, back door, front door, teleport.
Yeah, it just, who even knows what was happening at the end of that one. BBZ almost won it, and they were losing until they were winning, and then they were winning until they lost. That's exactly what happened in that one. And honestly, Amid still had a fantastic game. The damage, yes, says Fireman did the most there. You get the cheat code with your Pop Blossom, but it just felt as if BBZ couldn't figure out Art of War Esports that game. It felt as if the Art of War was in full force this time around. And I have no idea what to think about this series anymore. Honestly, both of these teams have had very good games and very poor games.
Yeah, BBZ looked all out of sorts that game. They would just could not chain together those great plays that they made to get back into game 1. But I have to say, if I'm Art of War Esports, I'm not feeling so hot about that victory. You really had that game in the palm of your hands for a long time, and they had a hard time converting. And when they went to go convert on that Baron to end the game, guess what, Adam? They got 4 for nothing. They almost lost the game off of that. If anything, I chalk that up to a lack of BBZ execution as the reason why Art of War managed to come away with that victory, despite how good they looked in the mid game.
Man, to use a Warhammer reference for that one, it was a Pyrrhic victory to come through for the side of Art of War Esports. That's the best way to put it, because you win, but at what cost? We'll have to see if BBZ can go back to the drawing board and potentially find a plan to firmly execute, get that dominant victory in this game number 3, or if Art of War are just baiting us all and this is really their story all along. Nonetheless, we are going to head to our next break here before game 3. Of course, once again, shoutouts to Logitech G, Adobe Creative Cloud, and Academy of Art University for helping us put this together. We'll see you in draft for game 3.